So I've got a little bit of a conundrum. I have grown most of my garden from seed, which I think is amazing. There's nothing better than the feeling of that tiny little seed turning into this amazing plant and then producing fruit and vegetables that you can then eat. However, my conundrum comes in this. I was in Bunnings yesterday and I have had failure after failure of coriander, for example. This is my third attempt and I had this whole pot full of seeds and they all germinated and they were looking amazing, and then for whatever reason now I'm left with this. I have filled this back up with new seeds, but then I go to Bunnings and for $4 or just less than $5 to be fair, I can buy a whole plant which is ready for me to pick and eat right now in a dish. This is more than enough as long as this stays alive for my family, and I'm just sort of put into this predicament of it's great to go through the process, but sometimes is it just worth maybe just getting and it's ready to go. Where this became apparent was this one, for example. This is an Asian salad mix. It was just shy of $10 and it includes mizuna, tatsoi and mabuna. And I put this in a salad last night, which you can probably see from the cut bits that I had. Straight away after I purchased it, I got to eat it in a salad. And I got to try also whether I liked mizuna, tatsoi and mabuna. If I had bought a packet of these seeds, it'd be about $4.99, depending on who you buy them from probably each of them, so that's about $15. Then the time and effort of growing them and getting them to how big these are. I mean, these are really substantial plants. And then waiting until you can actually use them and eat them. I don't know, I was just like, for the $9.98, it's instantaneous. Plus I get to keep them and nurture them and grow them to even bigger plants, and I get to enjoy them straight away. You know, another example is my basil. I've had a really tough time growing the basil. The first two that I had that were really healthy, I put one with the tomatoes and I put one in the bag that I put some tomatoes in, and they all died pretty much instantly. They were probably too little to go out into the harsh elements, but I bought this the other day at the market and I've already used it multiple times in my cooking. It was $2 from a local market, and yeah, as I said, it's instantaneous. It's enough for our family because we're only a small family, so I don't need hundreds of plants of basil. But it does make me sort of think sometimes as to, is it that bad just to buy something that's ready to go? You know, another example is this. I saw this today and I said, oh, do I really need another chili? But it was a peach colored chili and I'm having trouble germinating my Sugar Rush Peach, which are actually a sweeter version of a chili. This is rated as a 15 out of 10 for heat. So this is something that, you know, my husband and I will love, but it doesn't replace the Sugar Rush Peach that I am trying to still germinate with my little experiment with that new mix that I did. And under the grow lights, haven't seen any movement as yet. I'll have to check the timestamps of the last video that I did as to how many days that has now been. But this was, you know, again, under $5. And when I look at the fact that here's an example of one that I started from seed in August, so we're talking September, October, November, December, nearly 5 months ago. And for like $4.98, I can buy one that's, yes, this one's got fruit on it and flowers and everything, but this one won't be too far behind, I wouldn't have thought. Spinach, another one that I'm having so much trouble with. I just bit the bullet yesterday and thought I'm just going to get a little punnet of spinach and see how they go. I know it's the wrong time of year, but I'm going to try and keep them in a cool spot. Actually, I can see that one's already going to seed or going to flower, but you know, again, I can pick these leaves and I can eat them straight away. So what's best? I don't know. I've gotten a lot of enjoyment from planting the seeds and seeing them grow and nurturing them and now eating. So I've enjoyed using the produce from my garden, making really delicious, yummy salads with the carrots and the lettuces that I'm growing and the tomatoes and the tiny little radish and some of the chilies, and sort of making a really interesting mix of just whatever I have on hand. But then some of these things, like I think this is invaluable because I love purple plants. I'll grow purple mizuna now. I'll buy and invest in a packet of purple mizuna because I know that I like the taste of it. And this was edible as soon as I came home. I could put this in a salad. I don't know. I'm just sort of pondering what's best. Same as the sweet potato, for example. So the sweet potatoes I purchased on eBay, and it was $15 for 2 plants and $15 postage, which is pretty high, but I understand it went into a box and all that sort of thing, and it was express sort of posted. But that was because I couldn't find sweet potatoes anywhere. And then I walk into Bunnings yesterday and there is, no kidding, probably 20 plants, orange ones and purple ones. And because I got the purple flesh and skin ones, I decided to get one of the orange ones, because once you've got it, you can then use cuttings to grow more sweet potatoes. So I thought, for the $4.98, it is worth me getting one of the other colors, and then at least I've got both varieties in my garden. But again, it's that instantaneousness of having to have gone through the process of growing it for the last few months. And because we're only a small family, you know, as I said, we don't need 10 plants, and even if you plant 10 seeds, maybe only one will survive, and then it only takes a hot day and it gets wilted or something, a slug comes along and eats it at the base, and then that whole process that you've gone through and waited months and months for that actual plant to produce, it's really disheartening when you can just like go and go, for $5 I'm done and I can put it in my stir fry tonight. Let me know what you think. Am I being over dramatic, or is there pros and cons to both sides? Give it a go, but then also the backup is there if you need it and if you want it in a hurry, and you know, you can always grow it, or try before you buy, as I think with these Asian greens. Oh, actually, I'm going to stop for a second. Speaking of Asian greens, shout out to Connie Coa. Oh my goodness, this is the most beautiful book. She has done such an amazing job. This is called Your Asian Veggie Patch, and it is just beautiful. The pages and all the little detailing, great information. So Connie's book describes a lot of Asian veggies, and then she will often have recipes, if not a few recipes, on how to use it. So here's an example of water spinach, and then there is a recipe using water spinach. 2 recipes actually for that one. Beautiful photography, and let's just face it, is Connie not stunning? Like, look at this girl, she is just stunning. Isn't she the most beautiful thing? Oh, Connie, you have done an amazing job. Congratulations. You know, it's really good to see things like this, because I have curry leaf tree in my garden, and to sort of read what it likes and what it doesn't like and why it's doing what it's doing. Everybody, I suggest, should definitely invest in this book if you are looking for some inspiration, and also on recipes on how to actually cook with these ingredients. So I know my daikon harvest was a little bit of a fail, but I'm going to try again, because again, I've got plenty of seeds. But look at this. She's got all the information on daikon, then a bit about the different parts and how tasty they all are, then one recipe on daikon, then on the next page another recipe then a little quick zero waste tip that you can pretty much use all parts of the Dacon. So such a beautiful book. I'm so impressed. Even the inside of the cover, it's so pretty.